All right, everybody, welcome to Badge and Banter. I am Charlie Whittington with the Lawton Police Department. We are coming to you from the fabulous Cameron University studio. A little warm today, but that's okay. We got the temperature cranked down, so we'll be good. We've got our coffee, and this is Badge and Banter. So it's a show about police officers. It's about police officer life and culture and everything that affects us and how we operate throughout our day-to-days. So it's been a little bit since we've been here. We've had a lot go on today in the studio. I've got with me Caitlin Gatlin from the city of Lawton, no stranger to the show. Welcome, Caitlin.
Morning. Thank you.
How are you?
Great.
Fantastic. And we also have Miss Tarra Jones from KSWO is going to be our guest this morning.
Ooh, on the other side of the mic. Ooh.
I know. Isn't it weird?
It is very.
So usually the interviewers now become the interviewees. And it's different for me, too, being in this role. But it's a good time. You'll have a great time on the show, or you won't. I mean, it's going to be your choice. But Caitlin's been on before. I know Caitlin helped with the pilot episode, and so she's no stranger to it. I made sure to push record this time.
Appreciate that.
So,
that was about 20 minutes
of great content.
Oh, no.
I was going to say wasted.
No. It was
wasn't.
great content. And I looked down, and it was just like the camera, doom, 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 and the record button was not going. So it was very, and I had to say, okay, guys, I'm sorry. That's 20 minutes that we'll never get back.
Wow.
But
you know I remember the old Panasonic cameras that we had at KSWO, and went and did a whole interview and did not take the cap off.
Oh, the cap?
Did not take the cap off. Yes.
Oh, no.
And
You
it
know
was
what?
One of those people that you just thought, I don't want to even talk to him the first time. Now I got to talk to him again.
The person that you were interviewing, though, they should have been like, hey, excuse me, ma'am. They could have helped out.
You don't know what you don't know, though.
I guess.
I mean, ooh, awkward. Did they, so did you have to redo the whole interview and get that vibe and that?
You know, you try to play it off. You know, I really want to make sure we get this good. So let's just re-ask a couple of questions.
Nice.
You really
Say,
try to play it off.
Yes, and put it on you. Be like, I don't know if I really like the way I came across on this. Maybe we can. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, good. Well, it's recording, and we're good. So this will be great. So I know in going through with this podcast, we look for unique people. We look for interesting people that we're going to speak with, and we have tried in the last couple of weeks to set something up to have you come in, and it's just been swing and a miss on either my side or we've had stuff going on. So, but we're here today. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit. It's, like I said, interesting on my side because the interviewer I get to interview you. And so if this is awkward, I'm sorry. But I just want to know more about you. I know you're a personality on KSWO, and I've had the privilege and opportunity to work with you in the evening news and then the phone calls about accidents and things going on with this new position as the PIO. But I want to know more. I know I started looking and doing some research, and you started at KSWO in like 1980?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me some more about that because I wasn't around.
Oh, my gosh.
I was born in 82. So,
oh, my gosh.
But
what does that make you, a millennial?
No.
What is that? No.
No. I'm in between. I'm that cusp. I'm in between Gen X and millennial. We're like Xennials.
Oh, my word.
But there's a petition online. I don't know if you've seen it or not to call us Goonies.
Oh, hey, I love it.
And I love it.
I love it.
And we never say die.
I
So
love that movie, yeah.
yes, see, she loves movies like I love movies, and this is going to be great.
This is great.
This is going to be great. So, age aside, time aside, tell me about your start with KSWO.
I moved back here. This is where my parents lived because my dad was military and retired from Fort Sill. And so I had moved back here. I was in Georgia and came back to Lawton and went to work for KSWO Radio. And so, and the only thing they had was like a board operator. Now, up until that time, I mean, I had been, really into the business of radio and was loving it. And so, board operator, and it was weekends. It was just a part-time thing. And so that was okay, cool. And I'm sitting there on a Saturday morning and I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do with my life? Because I really don't want to be, 40-year-old disc jockey. Of course, at that point, 40 was like ancient. And I said, well, I need to go to television. And that was it. That was the sum total of my thinking. I mean, that makes sense to me. So I trot out to KSWO and all, and they just kind of like, okay, whatever, whoop-de-doo. Nothing. Go back to work at the radio station. Well, I also was working at 7-Eleven because I had children to feed. So I went to work at 7-Eleven, and so I'm at 7-Eleven one day, and I get a phone call from Mr. Drury, dun, 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 and had never even seen the man. I mean, I'm working at his station. I'd never seen him. He said he understood I wanted to be at the TV, and I said, yes, sir. He said, go out there and do an audition. And I'm like, okay. Now, everything in my career has been with a telephone call from people I did not know, didn't know what's coming. And so I went out and I did an audition, didn't hear anything, kept working, kept doing what I was doing. And he called me back, and he said, I thought you were going to go out. And now he never called me at the station. He called me at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And he said, I thought you were going to do an audition. And I said, well, I did. And he said, I'll call you back. He called me back, and he said, they think I don't know what's going on out there, but I do. He said, get back out there. And I said, okay. So I went back out there, do an audition. This time, they didn't let me use the teleprompter. So I'm just fumbling with paper, and, you're already nervous. And I'm just like, oh, my gosh, it was horrible. It really was horrible. And I thought, well, Larry Patton, who was the GM at the time, walked into the master control booth. In there for a moment, he came out, and he, very brisk, and, well, the only thing I have is a station editor. I said, okay.
Take it.
I didn't know what a station editor was, Caitlin. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay. So we go back to this little room, which is now Kelvin's office. Okay. And there were these two humongous machines sitting in there, and this monitor, and this guy, and he told me, he said, trainer. And so he started training me. I came back the next day, and he was very snippy, and I was thinking, well, what'd I do to you? And he said, well, you're here. That means I don't have a job. I thought, oh, my gosh. So
and it begins.
And I have always wondered what happened to him. So anyway, trained me to be an editor. That was in October of that year, and I'm in there trying to fumble and figure it out and what have you. And also, I got to where I was just wheeling and dealing. I got this stuff down. This is kind of cool and stuff. So a month later, walked in and handed me a camera. And at that time, Jan Stratton had come on and stuff, and she was just doing the foo-foo news, the little fashion shows, things like that, garden shows, whatever. And he said, gave me a camera, Panasonic, and said, okay, you're a photographer. Do what? So I was a photographer, editor, and I learned how to do that. First of the year, put a microphone in my hand and said, you're a reporter. And I thought, okay, so I just started watching everything and everybody, watching national news, watching my coworkers and stuff, and all until I could understand, what I needed to do.
So definitely on-the-job training.
On-the-job training.
Trial by fire.
But you know what? Best way. Best way, because from beginning to end, I could do it all. I could do it all, and I just fell in love. I absolutely fell in love with this business and stuff. So yeah. Was there 2.5 years, and then we had a parting of the ways, and I went to Oklahoma City. But my oldest daughter, had sickle cell, and I was going back and forth every month for blood transfusions, and it was just like, I can't keep doing this. And so we moved to Oklahoma City so she'd be close to the Children's Hospital. And went to work at 7-Eleven. Again, midnight shift. Got a call from Channel 4 to my apartment complex, to my apartment complex. And they said, hey, I want you to come out here. Went out there and was the producer, overnight producer for the Ben and Butcher McCain show. And so did that. And they said, we don't have a reporter position yet, but want you here, and so we'll do it this way. And was at Channel 4. Channel 9 came calling with more money, and as a single parent, more money was good for me.
Absolutely.
Was not a good move. I shouldn't have done it, but I made the move, and the news director at the time, oh my word, was a piece of work, and so we had a parting of the ways, and then I got to be a mama for a while, which was really cool, really neat. My children are grown and have children of their own.
You have
They
three,
remember,
correct?
I had 3 children,
Okay.
and they remember that summer to this day because it was the first time I did not work. It was the first time I was mama all day long. And
All day.
yeah, great summer, great summer.
So I want to hit on that for just a minute. Working, what shift were you working when you were at 7-Eleven? Were you like,
I was doing the night shift.
ugh,
I was there at night, and let me tell you something. Yeah, scary. I was a scary person at the time, and I worked the night shift. And so I'll tell you this: it was cold one night, and I was in the cooler, and somebody came to the cooler window, and now the brain process sometimes does not kick in. The person had on a ski mask, and I came out of the cooler, and I'm in the cooler. I have bottles I can throw. I come out of the cooler. I said, "What you need?"
What did you
What do you
need?
need?
Yeah.
To the man with the ski
Oh.
mask?
Yes.
well,
and
she was in the freezer, so she's cold.
She's
He's
like,
cold,
oh.
maybe.
His
You know,
face is warm
yeah.
at least.
So he goes around this side of the cash register island, and I come around this side, and he said something, and I couldn't understand him. And then I realized
Because of the ski mask.
all he had on was the ski mask and a shirt and boots.
But what about the pants?
There
Tara?
was none
Okay,
at all,
okay.
or underwear.
Like Donald
Okay.
Duck.
I mean, and he
Or Winnie the Pooh?
Winnie the Pooh in it.
and he kind of so then he runs and jumps into a van, and they drive off.
Did he take anything?
No, and thank goodness, not even me.
Good.
I'm grateful.
What
So,
what store? Did you have one that you were working specifically, or was it just?
yes. Over there in Oklahoma City, over in I think it's the Bethany area.
Oh, this was while you were
36th
in OKC.
Oh yes. Oh
Okay.
yes.
What about here in L Town?
Oh, I worked part time, and I think I worked. Let's see, I worked at the station, so I worked there days. Yeah.
Got the
little-
call
little
at
bitty children.
got the call at the store. Says, "Hey, come down."
I promise you, when I got into the business in Germany, I had just had a baby. I went to work at a German travel agency. Americans came in there to get their travel done. I went in, I had a day of training. The next day I came, and the manager quit. And I'm like, what? And so I called the owner, and I said, the manager just quit. He said, can you handle it? Sure, I can. I promise you folks didn't see their luggage again in life.
Nope.
I don't know what I was doing
There's people cussing you today.
today.
Can you speak
Yeah.
German?
I mean,
Nine.
Kleiner. And so
I'm sure that means a little bit.
Bless you. Just kidding.
So I got a phone call from civil service saying there's a receptionist job at AFN. I'm like, I'm the boss over here. I'm not going to be a receptionist. Got a phone call from AFN. The man said to me, come over here. We'll get you on the air.
In Germany?
Yeah.
AFN is American Forces Network.
Yeah.
The man,
Okay.
he
Okay.
called and he said this. I didn't know him. I said, okay. I had never been on the air, didn't know what that meant. I just said, okay, sound like folk, good thing. I go over there. I mean, I've got that front going like this. Sure enough, follow through. So I started doing the bulletin board twice a day, what's going on in German American community. One of the guys said, hey, I voice German industrial film. You want to do this? Sure, I do. So I did that. The water slide. My voice was on the water slide video when the Germans brought it over here.
How cool.
And I was like, oh my gosh. So it was all good. Yeah.
Well, and at that time too, there's no YouTube, the internet, none of that. So I mean, you're having to shuck and jive with all of this other stuff to make it look good, and you're having to learn on the fly, right? You're saying that you're over here spinning plates, everything's fine, and then learn, like you said, best way to learn.
It is.
Good.
If I can get my hands on it, then I can do it.
So speaking of juggling or spinning plates and juggling, being a single mom and doing all that, tell me the dynamic. I know,
know what?
Caitlin, you're not a single mom, but I mean, the
My
professional.
husband's a firefighter. It feels like it sometimes.
No.
Because you have spans of time when
So-
you're at home.
Yes.
But and I applaud you for it. But being my wife was gone she works full time. She's amazing, but we have that dynamic to where we're there. We can assist. We can help. It's it's great, but she went on a vacation for a week. And so I have a 8-year-old and a 3-year-old, and she goes on this vacation every 2 years with her mom. So it's every 2 years I prep, but the balance, and I don't know if it's just it's maternal but I don't know. She handles stuff so well, and some things I just let it kind of roll off my back like water in a duck.
Right.
But how do you find that balance?
Oh gosh, just every day. And then remember, I had a chronically ill child, so I never knew when she was
On
gonna
top of
get
that,
sick.
exactly.
Because sicklers go into a crisis, and when they go into crisis, they're in horrible pain. So she had to go be at the hospital sometimes overnight, days, whatever. So I'm trying to figure out, what do I do with my other two who are younger while I'm there with her, go to work all at the same time.
Yeah.
And I promise you, there are days I look back and say, where were the other two?
How did I do
Where
that?
were they?
Yeah.
I mean, I know somebody picked them up for me or whatever, but there are parts of it that are just not in my memory anymore.
Are they close in age?
Every 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, there was an every 2 year cycle going on and stuff. And literally, I will tell you that there were times I would get so overwhelmed, so frustrated. I literally would crawl into my closet, move my shoes out of the way, get in the farthest corner I could get where you can't find me now, I'm hiding. And I would sit in there and cry and pray and God, what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm doing. How do I do this? And stuff. I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing. I did not. And I will tell you that I had this bright idea when they were real little that I'm going to give my children to God. That way, He'll take care of them. And I planned it all out in my head that Sunday, when it was time for altar call, I was going to take them up to the front. I had my little speech plan. I'm giving my children to God because I don't know what I'm doing. And I did. And I figured this, they belong to you. You're going to take care of them, and I'll come along for the ride, and we'll be okay. So, and that's how I had to do it. That's how I had to do it. I could not have done this without him. No way in the world.
She always gets the call, whether it's an altar call or a phone call.
There it
then
is.
There
I
it
want
is.
you to know.
I love that.
Yes, it works out. Well, good. So raising the kids, being, and with KSW and with the other stuff, those aren't just 9 to 5s. The convenience store, that's swing shifts. That's, hey, somebody called in sick, we need you in. Hey, we've got this major scene that's going on, we need you. That balance, it's not like, 9 to 5 would just be a struggle anyway with I'm sure with children, but to have that go on, like even our officers that are single parents and they have that and they get called out for something, I can see that being very stressful. And I just look at it, I'm fortunate, and I find myself blessed that I have that balance and I have that structure where I have my brothers are on, all my family is involved in this. So it helps us, but kudos.
There were people along the way, and when I moved to Oklahoma City, my sister, I was like, I'm going to Oklahoma City. You want to go? And so she said, okay. So thank goodness she was
I
there
do.
for part of it, which was such a blessing. And when she did come back to Lawton, then it was just me up there. But, it is a struggle. It is, people just don't understand what single parents go through. You're trying to figure it all out on whatever it is you're supposed to be doing as a mom. How do I do this? How do I do that? But then you got the dad stuff. Okay, so I had a son. Who plays ball with him? Who does this stuff with him? I remember he was about, I want to say, maybe 5 years old. And he came to me, and I kept them, always had them in church. And he came to me, he said, Mom, what do I do when a man shakes hands with me? Do I look him in the eye or do I look down? I didn't know that was a thing. And I was like, baby, you hold his hand firmly and you look him straight in the eyes.
You're right.
I didn't know, but I said, this is what I want you to do. And so that's what I did, and that's what he did. And so I taught him, I wanted him to be a strong male. And I just gave what I had. I gave what I learned and tried to instill in him what I thought would be important for a male to know. and stuff. I did not want to make a difference between girls and boys in my house. I wanted all of them to know you have to work. You have to work.
Absolutely.
You cannot. They never saw me lounging and just doing nothing. They never saw it. I had 2, sometimes 3 jobs. So they never saw me not working.
Because they're always watching.
Right. Because that's how we learn. We can talk to people all day long, but we learn by what we see.
When we found out that we were pregnant with our firstborn, which our oldest, he's 8, I started like a journal once he was born, and so I'd write in it every day, and then every day got to where it was like, okay, maybe I'll write it once a week. And part of that, like one of them is like, hey, things you need to know as a responsible human being. And it's like when you shake somebody's hand, like when you said that, it popped into my brain. Always have cash. You don't want to go on a date and reach in your pocket and be like, oh, I don't have any cash on me. Just always pull out the chair, always open the door. Things like that, chivalry, and I do it because I want him to look back later. Because I'm here now, but I know that at some point I won't be. But I want him to look back and know that I was thinking about him and things like that, and maybe pass that information along. Or if something happens and I'm not here, he can look at those and be like, oh, okay, I remember that. That was a fun time. Events that happened, vacations. But and they're always watching. They're always learning. They're picking up. It's great when you see, those really good traits. But when you see something that you don't like about yourself and you see them reflecting with that, and you're like, oh, yeah, I gotta change that. But to have that work ethic and to always see that, and you did it. Now look at you. You're here. What brought you back?
Let me say this. I got it. I want to say this to that part what you just said. My daughter, who is an adult, and she, her children are grown now, and she called me one day and she said, "Why did you make me so responsible?" She said, because she hated.
What a
her
complaint
job.
to have, right?
She hated her job, and I was like, "Whoa!" And she said, "Why did you make me so responsible? I have to do all this stuff and all." And she does it well, and I thought, thank you. So I'm
You're
so
welcome.
very grateful that they picked up on that. My son has 2 businesses, and stuff. So I'm so glad they picked up on that, and the stuff that I see that, like you said, I'm not really pleased about that part. I have had to learn back off, and just pray about it because you're not in that role anymore. Yeah. But I had gone into teaching because I did not go to college right out of school. I just was like, I wanted to do a certain thing. My dad was like, no. He wanted me to either be a teacher, a secretary, or a nurse. And I went to school to get a teacher, nurse's aide. I thought, okay, we'll do the nurse thing. I knew real quick I was not cut out for the nurse thing. No. So, all right, fine. I didn't want to be a teacher. I didn't want to be a secretary. And so I just said, no. It was my first act of rebellion. I'm not going to college then. And so I didn't. And so my children actually, my daughter passed away in 2002. And my son graduated his first degree in 2002. And so when he graduated, he came up to me and he hugged me and he said, "It's your turn now, Mom." And I couldn't handle it at that point. The next year, I finally said, I'm doing this, because I had gone and then I had to stop because she was sick or something. And so I said, I'm doing this. So I came back to Cameron, and I didn't stop till the first master's was out of the way. I mean, I was like a crazy person with education. Look at me, I can do this. And so I went into teaching. And I loved teaching. I loved seeing the light bulb come on. I was like, oh my gosh, look, that's so cool. And so I went into teaching, and I taught for 10 years, 5 in Oklahoma City and 5 in Texas. And I had come to that place that I was like, okay, this was a good journey, but I'm done now. What are we going to do? And I literally was just saying, okay, Lord, where are we going next? Channel 7 had their 70th anniversary, and they had called, wanted to do one of those where are they now deals. Did that, back into classroom, whatever. I got a phone call.
Phone call. Was it like in 22, 23? Something like, okay.
Got a phone call. And Sharika said, I have a position as a evening anchor. And I said, no, because I didn't want to come back to Lawton. I had no intentions of coming back.
None
to
at
Lawton. And went on about my business, still saying, what am I going to do? Well, in the meantime, my mother's living with me because my sister had passed away from COVID. And she was the one here kind of handling things and stuff. So Mom was living with me, hated being in Texas, wanted to be in Lawton, and every day.
Because it's Texas.
Just because it's not Lawton.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
I love it. So anyway, I was like, oh my gosh. So one night I was getting ready. We were getting for bed. I checked the cameras to make sure she was okay. And she's in there praying. And she's saying she wants to go home. And I said, what am I going to do? What do you want me to do? What am I going to do? I got a phone call. Shariko said, I still have a position as an evening anchor. I said, my mama wants to come home. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Fill me in.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. And we talked, and I said, yeah, I'll come. And it was just, that's it. A phone call has been, my whole life, it's been a phone call. And so I said, okay, fine, great. I'm coming to Lawton, and let's do this. Yeah.
So you come back, and a whirlwind of changes.
Oh, my gosh. Because I had to end my school year about 2 weeks early because Haley was getting ready to have a baby, and they were like, we need you here right away. And I'm like, oh, my goodness, okay, fine. So I said, okay, I'm just going to leave 2 weeks early and put in my deal. I had one student. He was the most difficult student, one of the most difficult students I had in the beginning and everything. And he mellowed out after a while, and he looked at me and he said, you're leaving? What are we supposed to do?
Like, don't worry, you'll get a phone call.
So I came back, literally, I got back that weekend, went to work that Monday.
Wow.
There you
Went to
go.
work that Monday, sure did, and never stopped, just kept going. Yeah.
And hit the ground running. Mm-hmm. Caitlin, you made that transition from KSWO to City of Lawton. I mean, did you get a phone call? Was that?
I did get a phone call.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I had been working at, LPS and KSW at the same time. So my schedule was 2 p.m. to 11. And then I was at Lawton Public Schools for a little while in their communications department, and I was there from 8 to 2 or 8 to 1:30, and then
How did I not know that?
It was a very short time. It was
Okay.
about 2.5, 3 months. And so after I finished at KSWO, I got a call from the deputy city manager and was like, hey, you want to come over here? And so I let Lynn Cortez, amazing, phenomenal person over at LPS, know. And she was like, well, you got to do what you feel is best. And that sounds
She's super.
to be best for you. And I said, yeah. So, yeah, at LPS for a very short time. And then I've been at the city since July 2022.
22. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. So when you come back from Texas, everything whirlwind, hit the ground running. Tell me some of the changes. Obviously, from 80 to 23, there's too many to name. We don't have enough time for that. But with your time on working with, let's talk the badge part, because our banter can go forever. But when we're discussing that with the law enforcement in the time frame that you were here, law enforcement now, kind of walk us through those transitions of the news and.
That has really changed. And even with the city, it has really changed. We were totally, we had such a great, not that we don't have a great working relationship now, but it's more restrictive. Then we just, it was a call, hey, what's going on, and stuff. I've been on those deals where they were manhunts and stuff. So cool. Y'all have never called me for doing a manhunt. I love it.
I'll call you on the next one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And stuff. So and even with the city, Wayne Gilley was the mayor like forever, and so all it took was a phone call, and we were in. We didn't have a lot of the restrictions we have now. That's one of the things that has been perplexing and a little sad to me, that we don't have more openness, open relationship. Now I don't know what's happened between the time I was here and the time I came back. I don't know what happened to relationships. I know that I was so used to that when I start seeing the restrictions and the barricades, and I said, well, what's going on here? What's the problem? We work with, we don't work against. And so I don't know, something happened maybe I'm not aware of. But I think that if we understood that we're not the bad guys. People think we are. They think we're trying to do the gotcha and stuff. I love interviewing. I really do. I come from the Barbara Walters School of interviewing, okay? I'm going to ask the hard questions. If you don't answer them, that's up to you. But I'm going to ask the hard questions. It's not, and don't do it with any malice. I want to know. I tell people all the time, they say, how do you do? Honey, I'm just nosy. I really... He can tell you.
That's what takes for being a good reporter and investigator.
I want to know why is that and stuff. You know how your 3-year-old, your toddler, why? Well, I want to know the why. Let's get to that. And I believe in my responsibility to tell the story, but I want to tell the story correctly. So, I think one of the greatest compliments paid to me was by Ken Harris, who had been a senator, and he was a judge. And he's told me, he said, Tarra, I know if you're doing the story, it's going to be right. Because I wanted to know, and I want it right. I think that the public deserves that. I think who I'm interviewing deserves that. And I want to be the one to say, this is what happened for real and stuff. So that's really changed a lot. I appreciate the fact that I can, text you at, 10:50 and say, I'm going on the air in 10 minutes. I need something.
What do you got?
What do you have? Tell me something. And you'll help me. You'll give me information. And I think I'm looking for the information. I'm not looking for a problem.
Well, and a lot of times too, I was going to ask about, you have the fly-by-night, like the YouTube, the scanners, like the stringers, the ones that go and they follow the ambulance stuff, and they give that information, and they just want to put something out, they want to be first. Whether it's for content, whether it's for breaking. It doesn't always have to. I mean, you want to be right, and then you want to have the information, or else you've got egg on your face, and you're stuck, and you have to. Hey, our bad. This is what. And so a lot of times if I go to put something out, I run it through the detective division. I run it through, hey guys, what are you working on this incident? Because I want to make sure I'm giving you guys factual information, and then B, I don't want to jeopardize an investigation. If there's something that I say and a media outlet runs with it, and it's very pertinent to the case, we could have just botched something.
Of course.
And I don't want that, and so that's why it's very fluid when we do all that.
I think too, and this is not an indictment against the youth, but when when you've been doing something, when you know something, when you understand the mechanics of something, you understand this is something that's public, and this is something that you're telling me that I can keep up with, that I can watch, that I can come back and say, hey, did you get anything on this deal? And I think that when you are young in the business, and we get folks right out of college, the excitement, and maybe don't know and don't understand how to differentiate.
I'm going to be the one to break this wide open.
Right. And while I want to be the one to break it, but at the same time, I want to be right. I don't want to be, and I don't want to mess up a relationship. That is key. That I'm going to need later on. I want you to trust me like I want to trust you.
Absolutely.
So and it's really vital.
That is huge. It's paramount. And so what I would do is I've always tried to educate as well, especially to the new groups coming on. You have so many young people coming. Like in the early 80s when you came over, you don't have the same mindset that you do right now with reporting. And so you have a lot of people that come in and they're ready. They're just, let's go, go, go. I try to educate them. If we're out on a call, I'm like, hey, I can't give you this information. However, if you guys stand over here, I know you guys need B-roll, you need things like that, and you want to put something out, I can give you something, and then it will help you along the way in your career. When you see detectives doing this, this, and this, that means that they're at this portion of the investigation. And I also try to turn them on to the Citizens Police Academy that we put on. It's like a 13-week class, and it produces a informed citizen. So we do things like that to try to educate everybody, to give them the why,
right?
So they can understand, and so they can process that, and then make their own decisions. So I know we've had a lot of people that go through there, and they just dislike the police when they start, and they're like, oh, I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. And then 13 weeks later, they're our biggest advocate Caitlin, you've been through it.
I haven't been through the whole thing, but I was covering part of it whenever I was at KSWO. And if you haven't gone through it, like I have not gone through it, we should just as a community, because even in the position that I'm in now, I have access to ask Charlie anything about the police department and I get an answer right away. And that's incredible. But there's so many things that I think the public just misses. And it's the same thing with the city, and we have our Citizens Academy that's going on right now. And what I try to tell people is municipal government, the city of Lawton, it's not just very simple to understand. There's a lot of moving parts to it, and
many layers.
Many layers, and that's part of Lawton Connect that the communications and marketing department just launched. I want to be able, just like KSWO wants to be able to, let's dive a little bit deeper and show me what you mean. Show me the documents that you're talking about so we can try to make that a little more palatable for the public.
Exactly.
And you want those people, the viewers, the listeners, everybody out there, we want people to get the right information, get the accurate information, whether that's coming to KSWO for their news source, whether that's coming to the Lawton Police Department or the City of Lawton's Facebook page and social media.
Right.
If we're all giving that same message, there's the clarity is there. There's no confusion. There's no and that's the big thing for me when I get phone calls from you guys. I'm like, hey, here's what's going on. If I don't have anything, or if I say I don't have anything right now, but I'm getting you something, I promise you, and I think I've been true to that. I will get you something.
Yeah. True. You know, I used to go and sit with the detectives. Just go sit and talk. Just go sit and talk. They got to know me, and I got to know them better, and all. And we laugh and talk. They tell me all these crazy things that have happened or whatever. I mean, it wasn't for publication.
Yeah.
It was us talking and learning each other.
Yeah.
Same thing with the DA's office. I'd be in the courthouse. I go by their sit. We'd laugh and talk, and he said, "Tara, let me tell you, this is a crazy thing right here." So we knew each other, and it was at that time it was Dick Tannery, and I'm still connected to Dick even today. And so I think that knowledge goes a long, long way because it opens up doors so we understand exactly where we are about this.
Well, you have to have that trust.
Yeah.
Like I said, that
trust.
It has to.
Yeah.
It has to. If something was to come up and I say something that's not supposed to be out, it's like, hey, this is just information at this point. That the whole quote, you guys can't see this because it's audio, but quote off the record, on the record, man, that's a slippery slope. And if someone's just trying to, get that edge, and you have to be mindful of that, and you have to know, like, hey, this but then once they're burned, you're burned. That's a tough road for you as the next person coming up to recover.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and I think me growing up, I had a cell phone when I was like a sophomore in high school. Mom wouldn't give me a cell phone any sooner than that, and I didn't have texting. If I wanted to talk to somebody, I had to get on the phone and have a conversation with them. And I think that, and this is not an attack on our youth, but journalists, at least whenever I was there, I wanted not just to make connections, I wanted to make friendships and really foster those relationships so somebody could trust me.
Right.
And they absolutely could. And I think that maybe that's something that we're missing, in that whenever we have young kids, young journalists coming up, they've only communicated through a screen, and they're missing that human connection. And so do they know how to foster a relationship like that?
I don't know that they do, because even as I watch them, they don't know how to foster a relationship within the newsroom. So you're kind of going, okay, let them hang out for a little while, and then we'll see where it goes and stuff. And that's part of the problem. Everything is online. We've got news stations 24/7, social media. Everybody wants to be the reporter, and so they want to find their niche, and they want to just go ahead and say this, that, or the third. And I always say to people, vet the information.
have to.
Look for 2 or 3 sources. Look for credible sources. And if they're not saying it, it didn't happen. You
have to.
And stuff. I vet everything. And my daughter should be a stringer. She sends me stuff all the time. Mom, did you see this? Mom, did you see this? And I'll say, where'd you get it? I'll say, well, hold on, and I go check it out, and then I'll say, hey, yeah, that's that. We didn't have that. I didn't see that yet on the all the stuff, but on the wires. But hey, yeah,
you talk about the stringers, for the viewers or the viewers. You're not seeing us, the audio listeners here that don't know. There's money in that. I mean, people, that content, you get a text on your phone through the Stringers app, says, hey, we got a call that in New York there's this, that, and the third. We see that you're in the area, which is scary, by the way. You can just, your locations, we see you're close. Right. Can you go get a picture of this intersection with a horizontal camera shot and send that to us? And then we'll send you $200. Yeah. Something like that. And so for you guys as the journalists, as the reporters, as the ones that are getting vetted information, it's got to be tough because someone else is putting that out and you're like, well, and you put it up, KSWO, you got it'll oh, that's old news. Oh, somebody put that on here 5 hours ago. And so I know that's got to be frustrating.
It is frustrating. It really is. But, again, we have to stand on the part of integrity. You might have seen it, but,
trust this news source.
Yes, we're going to give you the exact. I mean, we got the word that Ryan Walters had resigned, but we had not seen it yet. We had not seen a press release. We hadn't seen anything and everything. So, we were like, okay, let's be cautious. Because, people say it all the time. People say it because they want it to happen or whatever.
Rumors. Right?
Yeah, rumors. So we wanted to make sure that it was accurate before we put it out there. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then, like you said, it builds trust. It builds all that. Caitlin, for you coming over from KSWO to the city, I'm sure that was foundation setting too, having that trust with the city.
Absolutely. Yeah, so whenever I moved, and admittedly there's very few people, there's not that many people there at KSWO. I don't know many people now except for you and maybe Alex, the producer. But, whenever I first moved to the city, I kind of try to explain, I'm going to let you know what I can. I know who I can trust. Here's what it is now. And at the time, I'd never been a PIO before. I'd always been a journalist and a writer. So it was just different, different dynamics. And even working in the newsroom, and I wondered, why isn't PD getting us anything? Why isn't the city saying anything? And that was something that I would get angry about, being an anchor and needing information. And then I come over to the other side, and I'm like, oh,
you found the why.
I know why now.
Yep.
And then I feel bad. It's like I have to go and apologize to everybody that I talked ugly about whenever I was at the TV station.
But you know what's so cool? Oh, for me, I'm looking at them going, okay, you protect your baby, and that's the city. You protect your baby, and that's the police department. Lynn protects her baby, which is the LPS. Nicole protects her baby, which is CCMH. Everybody's protecting their baby, and we're trying to hold the baby. Could you let us just hold the baby for a few minutes?
Give me the baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and that's just it. You want to give that right information because we all have a baby in the community, so you want to make sure that they're taken care of. I think too. Also, you're still on Crime Stoppers of Southwest Oklahoma. You're on the board for them as well. So that helped you, I think, get more of the why. You get to see a lot of that on the kind of inside baseball with a lot of that. So you get to, understand the investigative side of it on some of it.
And I mean, even further than that, it's talking to people, and it's just going back to building those relationships and networking that turns into a friendship. And I mean, I've been in the community in Lawton since 2016, and there's been incredible people that I've met whenever I first started here. Charlie, you're one of them that they've just become close friends of mine, and we have those relationships. And so forever grateful. And just a plug from a South Texan to all you Oklahomans listening, this is one of the kindest communities that I've ever lived in. And I've lived in several just working in the TV market, but man, there's no place like Lawton. And I think that there are incredible people here that you can trust, that you can build great relationships with, because we have a community of people that care so much. And it's just very refreshing.
I think I'm going to say this from this aspect. You have to give Lawton a chance.
Yeah.
And stuff. Because I can tell you, I ran from Lawton for a good little while. I got out of here in 2011. I felt like I was just being choked to death. I've got to get out of Lawton. And I just kind of went, pling, and went to Maryland because a friend of mine said she was from Maryland. She was like, "Oh, you love it." Da, 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 da. And, okay, fine. So I went to Baltimore. I mean, yeah, for real. Taught at a school up there, and I mean, I think really it was a reformatory. They just called it a school. I mean, inner city. Okay, I was not. I mean, way over my head, and stuff. And then I came to Oklahoma City, and stayed up there. I thought, I just need some kids who know the difference between an adult and kid. And that's the thing about being in Southwest Oklahoma. There are enough old values that we can still see a difference. People don't understand what it really could be like until you go to someplace like that.
And I think with Lawton Fort Sill, it's our community. We are a melting pot of the who's who with the military here. Fort Sill, artillery base, you're going to have anybody and everybody, and they're going to bring their culture and their way of life with them here. And I think that's what makes us great. I think that's what makes us. You're not going to find the hospitality or anything like that here anywhere else. It's not going to be a thing.
And that's how I originally got here. My daddy was Army. Actually, it was our second time here, and he was Army, and got here, went to school at Central when Central was a school.
When Central was Central.
When it wasn't City Hall.
Yeah.
And I thought, I hate this old crumbly down school. And then Lawton High, loved Lawton High, and still love Lawton High. I'm a Wolverine to my heart. Yes. And
Highlanders. Big
you
Mac.
all were just a thought when I was
Yes,
there.
I was about to say they weren't 79. The high school didn't come around. Yeah, no, you're right. It was early on. They were very young.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So Lawton High was it. We were the reigning champs. We were it in this city. And
we didn't have anybody else.
But my dad was starting to think retirement, or starting to think get my home, because they were from Alabama, and Mama was like, I'm not going back, and so he was gonna look for a home. And I was my senior year. And I was like, if you move me out of Lawton High, I will run away from home. And I'm sure that they just thought, oh, my gosh, we can't do that. But they did honor that. They did honor my desire to stay put, and they stayed on post till I graduated and then moved off post. So, I've been around here, in and out of here. I've seen a lot of changes, some good, some bad. I've seen some people come and go and everything. But you know what? And again, when I finally came to that place of saying, okay, I'm going to be in Lawton, it was good. It has been good. I'm bought my home. I got established, and it was like, yeah, okay, I can do this. And then, cross over the Red River in Wichita Falls. I didn't know that there was this person I was going to meet and marry. So
there you go.
So it's a good thing I came back to Lawton.
Get a phone call on that one?
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah. So.
Well, with the news, I know we're talking about niches earlier like that. What do you find yourself drawn to as an investigative reporter?
I haven't been in a while, obviously, with what I do now. I used to love to go to trials. And just try to understand what happened here, what motivated that person to do what they did. I've interviewed some convicted felons and asked, did you do it? You didn't admit to it, but you've been charged with it. You've been convicted of it. Did you do it? And why? And what was that all about? But I love to do stories that matter. The Fort Sill Indian School, what happened there? Where are those people now? How are they coping with how that went down? I want to, I'm getting ready to do one on Dunbar. I mean, we did the story that they were tearing it down, but people who went to school there, tell me about that.
Tell me your memories.
Yes. Yeah. I love to look at those things. Stories about women. You talked a little bit earlier about ministry, my ministry, women, single mamas, people just don't understand the things you asked me, you know, what that's like when you've got, you know, this much month, you can't see me, but when you've got like two yards of month and you've got 1 foot of money, what do you do? How are
manage?
You going to feed those kids? How are you going to keep it going? You know. So I remember one time literally eating popcorn so I could feed the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Literally having to eat popcorn so they could have the food. And there was a restaurant, and I had the opportunity of contacting them later on, but it was Po Folks in Georgia, in Augusta, and you could buy a meal and get a kid's meal to go with it. So I get enough money, buy a meal, buy 2 meals, and then divvy it up.
Split it up.
Yep.
Yeah. You just did. You had to do.
You do what you do.
Exactly.
You do what you do.
And to their benefit, later in life they look back and, you know, hopefully they didn't realize it then, you know, but
they didn't understand it.
They don't.
I called everything an adventure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I called everything an adventure.
And then look at them now; they're better for it.
Okay, wait, we've got a new adventure.
Yep.
You know, we're going to do this, and third, and stuff. So, and all along the way, they would say, Mom, you know, I was taking in mamas who were having problems.
Yeah.
And they were staying with us and stuff. So I was doing things along the way. I would cook meals and put them in containers and aluminum foil, and we would go downtown Oklahoma City, and we would feed people and stuff. I wanted them to understand there are people who are having it worse than we are.
Yeah.
I wanted them to understand that, you know, we could be down, but there are other.
When you think you have it rough, take a look.
Because I didn't want them ever to be, you know, everything is so bad and life is horrible. No, you still got to keep moving. You've still got to keep pushing. So those are stories that I love to do, and all. And I like the fun stuff, you know, and all. I was an honorary firefighter for the city of Lawton because they were doing a story out at the old Reynolds Hospital and evacuation or something, and I allowed them to strap me to a mattress and lower me down from the top floor and stuff. And and I wasn't.
Where's that video?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Red Adair made me an honorary firefighter. I have a red jumpsuit somewhere with the big emblem on the back and everything and my name on it.
Wow.
And stuff. So yeah, you know, I like the fun stuff too. Police the military police tried to get me to rappel down Medicine Bluff. I said no.
No,
I do have a picture of that, but I
rappelling's
said
scary.
no. Yeah,
I'm not.
I wouldn't
We
do
did that for a supervisor's like team building training, and no,
Yeah.
I did it, but I don't remember a lot of it
So
at all. They told me it was very wrecking ball-esque, but yeah,
I bet.
I'm not. I can't.
No, they tried their best. I went up in hot air balloon. Well, in Norman, when the hot air balloons, they had the hot air balloons up there. Went up in a hot air balloon.
You were good with that?
And all. You know, when you're young, you don't think, you don't have no thinking power. You just do it because it's cool.
Yeah.
And but I will always remember the experience. Would I do it today? No.
No, probably not.
Would I let somebody put me in a mattress and lower me down? No. I wouldn't do it.
I got to figure out what we got to do to make you an honorary police officer.
Yay, do
We'll
it.
work on that. And
Yes.
Caitlin, you can join the club too. We can.
Again, I don't know if my husband will be cool with that.
Well, honorary.
Okay.
Honorary.
Honorary.
Okay.
You don't have to go.
He does a lot, and we are grateful for the firefighters and Lawton. And you know, there's always this. Everyone jokes about the animosity. Like if you watch the movie The Departed, you know, they're back and forth. The fire department, police department. We actually, I mean, we get along great. I know back in the day they had actual tackle football, and it was police versus fire, and there was a lot of injuries. So they got away from all that. But now I think some of our biggest competitions are like either basketball or rib eating competitions. I mean, so they keep it fun, they keep it light. But we always ask on this podcast for Badge and Banner, we do rapid fire Q&A.
Okay.
So Caitlin's done it. Everybody, I haven't done mine, but that is, I don't think I have at least, but we'll do yours.
Okay.
If you're ready for it. So basically what it is rapid fire Q&A. I'm going to ask you a question and then quick responses and just tell me, you know.
Tell me there was going to be a pop quiz.
Well, this is fun though. This is all about you. So, you know, it's good. So pay attention. It doesn't cost anything. You ready?
Here we go.
Hobbies while you are not at work.
I have a weekend talk show, and so I do that. Yes, And I love anything again to do with women. So I like to put together.
Well, tell me about
deals.
how do we listen to your weekend talk show?
It's live on Facebook, and we're getting ready to expand it. It's called Sister Chat. It's all about women, and it's purposely done. I have women of different ethnicities, and we talk about everything from potty training to politics to from fashion to, whatever. We talk about it all, and we just really have a good time. We have had some notable people as guests, and we've had some folks. We have slumber party. We actually wear our jammies, and we're in different places. So I've got one in Albuquerque, one in Ohio, one here. I'm getting ready to get another one here, and as far as co-host, and one in Alabama. And so
how cool is that?
Yeah, and so we're in there. Everybody has a different perspective on things.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm gonna have to talk to you offline. It's not just in Lawton.
No.
That's
how
so
cool, right?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
And I'll tell you this, I'm getting ready to launch an online radio station for women.
Wow, Tarra, that's way cool.
That is really cool. Man, well, so it's not as rapid fire as I thought it was going to be because we're going to talk about everything that we answer. But your first job?
Nurse's aide.
Nurse's aide.
Nurse's
okay. Do you prefer text messaging or phone calls?
Phone calls, because text messaging can be
Yep.
so misconstrued.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Favorite food?
seafood and Chinese food.
Seafood and Chinese food.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see, not that one. How long have you been on LPD? These are just from the guys. Your favorite season?
Spring and fall.
Okay. One of the guys when I did that said salt and pepper. And I was like, no, season, like summer, spring, fall. So he goes, okay, I got it now. So your favorite season is?
I guess maybe, I like them both, but I suppose
Rapid fire.
fall.
Fall.
Yeah.
Why?
The weather's getting just like I like it.
We have 4 days of fall.
I know.
And then we're
Winter.
into like the cold,
I try
bitter
to grab
winter.
it. I try to hold on to it. I really do.
I understand. Fun fact about yourself that a lot of people may not know.
Wow.
Can you juggle?
No, I can't juggle. What can I do? Fun fact. Come back to that.
Okay, think about it. Favorite pizza topping?
Sausage.
Okay. Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Why?
Because the people are nicer.
Yeah,
People are nicer.
Caitlin, you said that on one of the other shows, like that it just seems like everybody's a little nicer at that time of year. But I think that's pretty goes for everybody, right?
Yeah, I feel like I told you my favorite was the 4th of July because
You were right.
America.
That's right. You did. You did.
You must have me confused with somebody else, Charlie.
Somebody else that was in here, maybe. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay. Favorite holiday, Christmas. Favorite movie. This one's fun for me.
Oh my word.
All-time favorite movie.
All-time favorite movie that I can just watch over and over and over. My gosh, I love them all.
Are you a movie buff?
Depends on what you're talking about. Now, the new stuff, but I'm a superhero person. I love
Say more.
Superman and Batman and Aquaman. I mean, I've watched that movie so many times.
Are
I
you
could just.
Are you a DC girl then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up on comic books.
There you go. We're gonna have to talk more offline, I guess. So anything superhero related. Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh man. Let me see. Fun fact about yourself. We're back to it.
Back to it.
The talk show would have been a good one for this.
Yeah. Fun fact. I mean, I love being a grandma. I love it. They don't call me grandma though. They call me Grammy.
I was gonna say, what do they call you?
Grammy.
And you get to pick that.
They call me Grammy, and I did pick it.
Grammy.
Yes. Yeah. And that's because it was a combination of mommy and grandma, Grammy, because when my first grandson came, I was like, Grandma? And I couldn't
no.
do it in my head. And I said, what are they going to call me? And I sat down and put it together.
There you go. See, our grandfather, when he was alive, we called him Pop because one of the first grandkids couldn't say Grandpa. He's a Pop, Grandpop, Pop. And so we called him Pop. And so that stuck. But yeah, you get to pick that name. You get to, and then they have to call you that no matter what. So
I'll tell you something. Something nobody knows about me. I know how to chop wood and tote water from a well. I do. I can do it. I can chop wood.
just felt like just is something
your
you learned
hand?
along the
Nope,
way.
Nope. Yes, because my dad was in Vietnam and we went home to Alabama, and they
Chores.
did not have and so you had to chop wood for the potbelly stove. You had to chop wood for the stove. I had to learn how to chop wood. I had to go to the well and tote water back for everything.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
See, that was easy. Just took you just a few seconds to figure that one out. Well, we've talked about a lot, and I really appreciate it. We cover so much stuff on this show, and I love having people on. I love having the ability that Cameron University has allowed us to come here and do the show, Badge and Banter. And we've done multiple episodes. It's just, I think it's a blessing for everybody, for our listeners to listen and to kind of get more, so we can help build that bridge with the community, with our guests, and keep that transparency. I think it works out a lot. Caitlin, do you have any final remarks that you'd like to let our listeners know? You have any upcoming events for the city of Lawton?
You would ask me that.
I'm sorry.
Charlie, International Fest just passed. We are going to have our Halloween bash at City Hall on October 31st.
Are you dressing up?
I am, but
Is it a secret?
It's a
It
secret.
is, that's right.
It's a secret. So that'll be, I think it's from 3 to 5.
And that's the day
Friday.
of.
Day of, and then community-wide trick-or-treating is from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Yep. So, yeah, we'll have a PSA out on that coming up soon. So KSWO will get with you guys, too, as well on that. And put something out. Do you have anything else that's not, I guess, community or event-related coming up, or do you?
Nope, just a shameless plug to download our app. Go Lawton.
And then you you have the new community. You were talking about that earlier too.
Yep. So we have Lawton Connect. That's pretty new. We have 3 episodes out, and the whole purpose behind Lawton Connect is, like I was saying earlier, bringing in the directors, the council members, and kind of asking them, hey, what do you mean?
The tough
because
questions.
what I was trying to say is it's really hard to talk. It's hard to write it in a Facebook post. So it's always easier to understand once we put it into layman's terms what it is that the city's doing. So be sure to tune in to Lawton Connect. That's on the City of Lawton's YouTube channel. We post it on Facebook, and then you'll get notifications once you download Go Lawton.
Awesome. Mr. Hart, do you have any closing remarks for our listeners, for our Badge and Banter followers?
I love what I do. I really do. I recognize that I don't just sit in that chair. I recognize that a lot of people do. I want people who are maybe of a certain season in their lives, maybe more mature, to realize that you can still do the things that you want to do, and still do the things in your heart. I want little girls to say, hey, maybe I could do that, and what have you. When I'm out and about and I see people and they come up and they want to talk or whatever, I always stop and talk to them because I know that they're excited. And so somebody said to me one time, wow, you come to Walmart. Well, yeah, I got this thing about eating. I have to come to Walmart.
Kind of have to.
Kind of have to come to Walmart.
Kind of have to.
But I want them to know I'm a real person. I really want them to know I'm a real person.
You need that connection.
Most important in my whole life, I love the Lord. I take that very seriously, and what I try to project. And all, I appreciate my husband who, it's hard on him because I'll say, okay, this is going on and I need to go here, and come on, you gonna go with me? And so he'll say, yeah, okay, and he'll come on with me, and I appreciate that so much.
He's your biggest fan.
Yeah, and so my children who, they had it rough. They had it rough growing up. The times they did have to share their mama with other people, with the world, but at the same time, they knew that I was mama, and I was right there with them. So I just love life. I really do. I hear people complain about, being a military brat. I love being an Army brat. I still, it's a wonderful thing. It worked for my life.
Made
It worked
you
for
who you
me.
are today.
Exactly.
Yes.
Learning people, knowing people, understanding the whole realm of it. I love it. I really do. So when people see me sitting at that desk and stuff, and sometimes I'll do like this. If I run into somebody, they'll say, "Can you say hi to me on TV?" Well, no, I can't. I said, but when I do this, that's for you.
Yep.
And so I always, and people can't see me. I don't forget.
Well,
what this
that's
is.
okay.
Yeah,
You did
it's a
little
little
quote.
thing with my fingers and stuff. I love doing the Farmer's Almanac and the joke at the end of the 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because we've just told you the most horrible things, and I think let's let you go to bed.
Lighten it up a little.
Laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Carol Burnett where you pull your
Exactly.
ear. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
So Carol Burnett's old TV show.
I
but,
know who
okay.
Carol Burnett
yeah,
is. Thank
I was just
you.
making sure. Well, to our listeners, thank you again for tuning in for Badge and Banter. I appreciate the opportunity for us to get here at Cameron University, like I said, to do this show. And I appreciate having you on the show as our guest. And please come back.
Anytime.
I'd love to have you back on the show. We can deep dive into more Badge and more Banter. Caitlin, as always, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, we will be you'll be hearing from us soon. So enjoy and have a great week.